guess if you're watching this? All right.
Are they gonna guess?
I don't know. Well, maybe. Yeah, it's all right.
It's all good. And it turns out that I was the delicate thing. What she handed me turned out to be, spoiler alert, a knife. I had my eyes closed, like, you know, and I was like really careful about approaching it, and like, because I believed her when she said you need to treat this with caution. I already think that about most of the things that I engage with, people and items and such. So she handed me this thing, and I was grabbing it or whatever, and I was feeling around the sides of it, and I could tell, and yeah, and so she's reflecting how stressed I was about it, actually, and I could tell, and I felt my face moving, and like all this stuff, like I could tell I was making a face and all this, and I realized what it was, and I dropped it, because I was like, no, not doing it. I think I even said no.
You said no.
Yeah.
You said
yeah.
no.
Right, and that's a big deal for me. Just saying a no is like a thing for me.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
and so when I realized there's, okay, I have a person I can trust. I mean, truly, as a client, the fact that you could say no showed me this immense amount of maturity and like capacity to do this work, because I needed to know that you would.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, in touch, like one of the things that people forget is that we don't have to want all of it, or like we don't have to say yes to everything. And for you to know that for me to know that you can say no was extremely important, and I had to push you.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if that felt like a push, but I felt like I was taking a risk. I didn't know. Again, I recognize now, and I can criticize myself that, like, let's say there was some trauma in your past where a knife was used. Like, had you had that, that would not have been okay.
Right.
Potentially.
Yeah.
Now, people that come and do ReTouch, in my opinion, hopefully have had years of talk therapy. They have some coping mechanisms. We did in the first session talk about like setting you, okay, like breathing and like knowing like where your edges are, and like, so there's some setup for this as well as just like here. Like,
right. No.
But it was a huge risk, and I found your no, and you let it go, and you were fine. Not everyone could have that experience, but I was happy that we did it, and
yeah.
Anyway,
well,
so yeah.
Can I say something real quick?
Please.
I think what's important about that, there's a lot of things that are important about that, but I think you had said it, and I was watching your videos before I came and found you. And I think you'd said something like, I can't trust your yes if I can't trust your no. Right? Like if I can't trust your no, then I don't know that your yes is actually a yes. Right. And that's important. You know, that no needs to mean something. It has to have weight and
we found it.
And meaning. And yeah, we did. And it was really amazing. It was really cool for me too, because I was able to kind of like prove to myself that I could say no. And that matters, you know, coming into something completely new and vulnerable and scary. And also, you know, even if you know it's good for you, it can still be scary, you know. And so the no meant a lot to me too. And it was cool that we were able to, you know, reach a point where I could discover that about myself.
And that's kind of the contradiction here, is that here you're coming for touch, but I needed to find that she could say no to touch.
Yeah, right.
Right? Like,
right.
That is so important. So we found boundaries. Once I knew kind of like the structure we were working in, and I learned a lot about you, which is, again, is really important. Like, okay, this is who you are. The next few sessions, I mean, if you can nutshell them, what do you think?
Sure, I could try. It was basically, the next couple of sessions were doing small things that were leading up to touch. So like we started out with, you know, just our fingertips touching like this, which was really amazing and cool. I felt a bunch of energy in there, and that was so interesting. I'd never experienced that before. And I will say this is really important, I think. Touching with intention matters. It's the intention around it that gives me like emotional responses. It's not just, here's a mindless thing that I'm doing. And I'm not saying that spontaneous touch is mindless. I'm just saying that sometimes if you're not thinking about it, it doesn't hold as much, at least for me. I don't know if that's true for everybody, but it is for me. And so the very tiny things that we did still had a lot of weight and meaning to me because of the intention behind them. Because the point was to connect. And it wasn't to do anything else. It was just to start, like, to initiate connection. And that was really special for me, because that was the point of it. I think that all of the things that I wanted growing up about touch was really I wanted connection. And there's way more aspects of connection than just talking to each other or just, you know, being in the same room, but like actually physically connecting is a special of connection. So we started with very small touches like this, and then it moved to like just the sides of our hands like this. Sorry, you can't see my face. It's fine. Just like the sides of our hands like this, and we did like a pinky promise thing, which was really, it's really
I made her
cool.
make promises.
Yeah, she made me make a promise, and it was a good one. But I'm not going to share it here. Yeah, it was a good one. Just trust me. And
can I talk about like what I noticed on all of those little things?
Yeah.
That there were stories and emotions that were behind them. Like, I could not, I mean, so you think about when you go to a talk therapist, you're like, okay, talk to me about your issues and your problems, and you're like, I don't know where to begin. But when you touch and you experience sensations in your body, stories show up. Like, the things like now you can actually begin to process and work through. And I think when you would say something about a family member, or like, I'm feeling these emotions, I'm like, and those are the things you take to your talk therapist. Like I had sadness when something as insignificant as I put my hands, like this together, and I experienced sadness, and I'm like, that one, go take it to your talk therapist if you want to like unpack where that came from.
Yeah.
But I just found that, that was beautiful. Like when you're like, and I could just be present with those, not have to fix it, not have to figure it out.